Saltwater Mission fans, thanks for tuning in. Today, it's a gear review on the Hobie 2020 Outback. Stay tuned. Alright folks, welcome to the review of the 2020 Hobie Outback. Bottom line up front, this is an awesome boat. If you are considering it, I say buy it. I'm not going to do the same thing that you see on a million different YouTube channels, and that's walk you through this boat from tip to stern and tell you everything that there is to know about this boat. This is a review. So I'm going to give you the top 3 things that make me love this boat. And I'm also going to give you a couple things that I wish Hobie would tweak to make it better. So what is the number 1 reason why I love the Hobie Outback? The versatility of this boat is crazy. But the number 1 thing for me as a disabled veteran with back and shoulder problems is propulsion options. As you can tell, I am moving through the water at a pretty good clip with very little effort. The Hobie Mirage Drive 180 with kickup fins, which comes standard on the 2020, is just off the charts. It allows me to enjoy paddle sports. It allows me to traverse big water if I want to. And it gives me the option to paddle if I want to transition from this pedal kayak to the paddle. It's pretty simple. All I have to do is center up my pedals, pull the black tabs in, lift the drive straight out of the water, and set it into the hole. Pro tip, always affix a leash to your Mirage Drive system. So as you can tell, you can certainly paddle the Hobie Outback. With its 34-inch beam though, it is a little more difficult than your traditional kayaks out there. The Outback though is designed to be kind of a multi-function boat. It's not going to do anything super. So if you want this boat to strictly fish, well, the Pro Angler does that better. If you want this boat for just a rocket ship on the water, well, the Revolution certainly is the faster boat. But this boat is probably the best all-around kayak that I found when trying to make my purchasing decision. It has a lot of space. I can stand up without much concern whatsoever in this boat. But here, the propulsion options are really what made me buy this boat. For me, the options to paddle, get an upper body workout when I want one, certainly is a good option to have. It's certainly more of a full body workout than any other version of paddle sports out there, because I can engage my legs, I can engage my core, I can engage my chest and shoulders. And at the end of the day, I think that gives me more time on the water, especially in rough water. So propulsion options for me are health related with my back and my shoulder. If you're gonna do a top reasons to buy a Hobie, I think I would be thrown out of the community if I didn't mention this seat. So number 2 is comfort, and that comes largely from this seat. First off, I want to tell you I could stay on this seat all day long, you know, and do 20 miles easy, knowing that I'm not going to get sore. There are a lot of different options on this seat that allow me to adjust the lumbar, Do I sit up in the boat? Do I sit down in the boat? I can adjust the recline of the seat, and I can do this all underway. So this seat is pretty awesome. We'll get this thing on the beach and show you a little bit more about it here in a minute. So when we talk about the different options that are available for this seat, because I'm out in the Gulf a lot, I like it to sit farther down in the hull. I can also lift it up, gives me a more upright stance. This toggle sits it down. This pull here allows me to drop the front down as well. So now I can be deep in the hull, but I typically like to sit the back side of me down, the legs up, because that's the angle that they approach the drive at. So those are two really nice options. I have a toggle here on the back of the seat that allows me to adjust the tilt of it. So all I gotta do is pull this toggle in the back, move it to where I want to go, and it's gonna stay there. I prefer to keep it somewhere right in the middle, right about there. There's also a lumbar support back here. So when I say that the seat is the number 2 reason, there's a good reason for that, because this seat is phenomenal. I can take it out, I can remove it from the boat completely, and then I can take these feet on the chair like so, set this thing up to be a good shore chair. And that just means there's one less thing that I have to pack in this boat to take this seat up on the beach, along with the umbrella, which I always bring, and I can enjoy the beach. So if you're looking at a kayak and you are new to this sport, I would say that the same thing that was told to me when I was new to this sport, and that's that you want this most comfortable seat possible if you're going to spend any kind of time on this boat whatsoever. To me, Hobie's a no-brainer on that. No one makes a better seat. Nobody. So ironically enough, being the seat is one of the things I love most about this kayak. It's also one of the most frustrating things. So I have been told by 2 different dealers 2 different ways to mount that seat to that bracket. And my issue with it is Hobie did not make this very intuitive at all. I have watched the videos from Hobie. I've had demonstrations from 2 different dealers. Neither of them I have found success with as much as just lining up these cogs. So as you can see here, this is kind of angled there. And that angle, let me see if I can get a better light on it. That angle right there, right here, is what lines up with this notch right here. And you would think Hobie would have color coded that or something to let you know how this goes on. So let me go ahead and demonstrate a few of the different ways that I've been told how to put this on, and then I'll demonstrate how I ultimately do it with the greatest success. One of the ways, actually the dealer that I got this from, and I'm not going to call them out, told me to align the seat up like so, put pressure on it, and then rotate it back. What you're looking for in this seat is that it locks in place and doesn't lift up like that. Okay, so I can remove this, and now I'll do it the way that Hobie shows on their videos, which is to set the seat on this post, lock it, rotate it slightly, and then lock it into place. That works with some success, but as you can see, that same side is still sticking up and it pops up, it doesn't get locked in. What I like to do is just align those notches and then just set it back. And that I do with greatest success, and it locks into place, and then all I have to do is go back here and secure it. All right, folks, so we are at part 3 of the top 3 reasons that I love my 2020 Hobie Outback. And honestly, what I'm going to tell you is the overall design of this boat makes it fit my needs. And I think that's important for you to realize, is that when I talk about the things that fit my needs, they may not be your needs. So this boat, as I've mentioned before, is 34 inches wide. So it gives me a lot of different access points to take myself and all of my gear out on a remote beach, and I could stay there for 2 or 3 days. So I'm going to break this down into the bow, the midships, and then the stern. And I'm going to open this front hatch, which gives us plenty of room. Take a look in there for me, Pete. I've got my super stick in there, I've got my mask fins and snorkels, and there's plenty of more room in here to put the battery from Dakota Lithium and Yak Power that we're going to feature in an upcoming video here. So I want to move on to the midships of this boat, and this is really what makes it the most user-friendly for me. So as I said earlier, the Pro Angler is the best fishing if that's all you're going to do. But the Outback has all of the H-rails, so all of the storage. You can fit standard size bait boxes in here, and all the storage down in here. It's really designed to be a very multifunctional cockpit for this boat. So there's a lot of things that's already set up with the ability to have a drop-down transducer. So you can have 3 levels, out, below, and in front of you. It's really an amazing boat. So we're going to move to the aft section. Again, tons of storage down here. I bring my cooler. These are the things that every time I go out on the water, these are what I have. I have my dry bag, I've got my PFD, and I've got my cooler, as well as my dolly for it. And then I typically don't put much back here. Bring that here. And this is where I think Hobie failed the most on this Outback. As you can see, this thing is already cut out for an 8-inch circular hatch. But Hobie told us, the consumers of this $3,000 plus kayak, that we have to spend another couple $100 to put a hatch back here, because if you think about it, most people that buy this boat, they're going to be fishing. They're going to be doing something with power. You wouldn't have this boat otherwise. And so Hobie basically, they could have done that for next to nothing, and that's one of the big thumbs downs about this boat. Other than that, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. So if you're considering on a new kayak to purchase, and the Hobie Outback is among your options, I unequivocally say I give the Hobie Outback a thumbs up.